I absolutely love Overwatch. As some of you guys might be aware, I spent about a third of my adult life living in South Korea. Some of my best memories of that time are going to the PC Bong, about 7 p.m. on a Friday, a couple of bottles of soju and some friends, and kind of get drunk and play StarCraft mostly, League of Legends, Counter-Strike, things like that. And since we were kind of like the only white dudes in there, we'd usually get Koreans coming up and wanting to play with us and talk to us and stuff like that, mostly to practice their English, but they would inevitably end up just stomping us, wiping the floor with us. So I always found that was one kind of stereotype that always rang true. If you're Korean and you're in a PC Bong, you're probably pretty damn good at video games. Anyway, the point of all this is just to explain that some of my best gaming moments have always been multiplayer ones. Games where you kind of form a team, battle your friends, games where communication and teamwork are really what it's all about. And I have never had more fun with a multiplayer game than I have had in the last week or two with Overwatch. So after having it totally consume my life for the past couple weeks, I've decided to make a video dedicated to just how much I fucking love Overwatch. Yes, I'm an unabashed Blizzard fanboy. But they got me when I was like 12 with Diablo and Warcraft and all that shit. And since then, really, you can't argue with the fact that it's been a never-ending train of quality games from Blizzard since then. No, Blizzard does not pay me, but they should. So without further ado, here's a list of reasons why I love the game. Number 1, the games are short and sweet. It takes about 10 minutes to play a quality game of Overwatch, and despite the short amount of time, it still manages to feel really, really satisfying. And if you're self-employed like me, and you kind of work out of the house, this game is dangerously perfect for those 10-minute coffee breaks. And what makes it so dangerous is what leads us into point number 2. It is insanely addictive and fun. Yeah, I know this seems kind of derpy, but I like Overwatch because it is insanely playable. You start playing and that dopamine just goes to flowing. You look up at your clock and 2 hours have passed, and you're still feeling that just one more game sensation. Reason number 3 is that it is so well balanced. Every LoL player is familiar with that nerd rage that comes with all these kind of games. X-Heroes, OP, OP, OP. But I haven't really seen that too much in Overwatch. Even Bastion, the character that frequently gets called OP the most, has direct hard counters. Yeah, when you first step into the game, his turret seems kind of ridiculous, because it can fuck you up if you don't know what you're doing. Then you learn how to switch to Genji and deflect the damage back to him, or go Reaper and just TP right behind him and shred him with your shotguns, etc., etc. For every rock, there's a clear paper. But don't let that fool you, because number 4 is the game aims to be both noob-friendly and complex at the same time. You don't need to know anything to step into an Overwatch game and just have a good time. The controls are simple. Each character really only has 3 or 4 abilities that set it apart from those others. But the timing, combinations, skill, and teamwork that you put into those abilities is going to create really different outcomes. Knowing how and when to use them properly can take a long time to sort of figure out. There's a huge difference between a noob, a decent player, and a skilled player, and a small percentage of it is not landing that perfect rocket with Pharah or pulling off that headshot with Hanzo, but having like a tactic and a strategy. The game is full of strategy, and that is really, really hard to incorporate in shooters. In fact, I've been waiting for this kind of thing for a long time, so I'm really glad someone finally did it. Which leads us on to point number 5. The maps are incredibly detailed. Not only are the maps beautiful, unique, intricate, but learning these maps gives you a huge bonus. If you can dart through that side passage with Genji and get a kill on that sniper that is your team pinned, there's a pretty good chance you can open up a choke point. Blink that hard-to-reach area with Tracer and get behind enemy lines with a sticky bomb, and you just might win the game for your team. Reason number 6 is that the level of polish is ridiculous. Again, I'm outing myself as sort of a Blizzard fanboy, but really, can you name a single Blizzard game that doesn't have an incredible level of polish to it? Like they actually give a fuck about the product they release to the public? This should just be expected, but in this age of half-baked releases and expensive DLC that should have been in the base game in the first place, Blizzard actually continues to deliver games that are at least close enough to finish that they come out of the gate already playable. I, for one, appreciate it, and you can tell that a lot of thought went into each character in this game, to the few abilities they were going to have and what would counter them, and it makes the game flow really well. And that's about it. I know you're probably expecting a top 10, but that's kind of cheesy, and I only had 6 reasons. Though feel free to drop some more in the comments. I will say that there are some things I look forward to seeing changed or made better. First of all, I really need more characters. Because of the insane level of balance and polish on the 21 released characters, I'm willing to forgive that there are so few. But I do look forward to the days when it's more like LoL, where you have like 100 characters, new ones being released every month that you need to learn. I also kind of don't like the meta model that Blizzard went with. It doesn't really feel like winning confers any real benefits on you, and that leveling up is actually not really doing anything to help you play the game. I really like the feel of calculation that LoL has, where it's like, if I win 10 games, I can buy this character, this rune, blah, 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 blah. It will let me get a slight edge over the filthy casual peasants and 12-year-olds who populate the solo queue. Overwatch doesn't really have that, and while it is cool that skill alone is the only thing that really makes any difference, I do kind of feel robbed of that experience, that clear sense of progression and improvement that a lot of similar games have. Currently, though, my goal is just to get to level 25 so I can start playing competitively. I want to make a team and play for real. I've got a few people who've already expressed interest, including my friend Miran69, but we're still short. So, here it is. This is Dalsoo's call to action. If you have the least interest in forming an Overwatch team, leave me a message. You don't have to be good. All you need is Overwatch, a Skype account, a microphone, and some free hours to practice in the evening. Well, that, and you need to be level 25, which I'm even still not. So it would take about 50 hours to get there. Trust me when I say that those 50 hours will be more of a pleasure than a chore. I hope to see you guys soon in a game. Cheers, and thanks for watching.